All right, sports starting to come back, thankfully, to America. And in the UFC, President Dana White, intent on moving forward with a May 30th event, says he will host it in Arizona, quote, 100% if Vegas cannot host it. Now, White recently just unloads on the New York Toilet Paper Times and a reporter there for a misleading article. Joining us now for reaction, UFC President, the one and only Dana White. You have no idea how big a fan I am of UFC, the Octagon. I trained my own way, but and I was glad you ripped the New York Times. How are you going to open up with a crowd?
God, I don't know how long that's going to be. It's going to depend on testing. If the level of testing keeps going up, the president was talking about a tab that you would lick and it would tell you immediately whether you had it or not. I think it's going to take something like that before we can bring fans back. You know,
you said something, the New York Times, it was interesting. You said, oh, they haven't covered this sport ever. Then they're attacking you, and then they get their clicks. Now they're doing, what, 2 stories a week? And you told, you kind of unloaded, F this guy, I don't care what they think. Why should you care, by the way, anyway?
Well, first of all, we were trying to figure out solutions to the problems and how do you bring sports back safely, and health and safety is an issue for us every single weekend. When we were leading up to these events, we had so many, New York Times and so many other media people trying to sabotage the events so that it couldn't happen. I mean, this guy from the New York Times interviewed the president of ESPN, Jimmy Pitaro, for 45 minutes. Wasted 45 minutes of his time and never used one of his quotes. You know why? Because they were positive.
Yeah, it figures, right? Exactly. I think, now they have these turnstiles that you can walk through, take people's temperature. I think that could be part of it. I would, if it was a matter of going to a UFC fight, maybe even outside, right? You could do that in a lot of cities. And if I had to wear a mask for the safety of other people, I'd suck it up, because this isn't going to last that long. At some point, this all ends.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's tough to know. You get different information from different people and different sources. We're going to end up living in a world where you're going to go to a sporting event, you're going to have to sign a waiver to go to a sporting event, and say, hey, I know that the COVID-19 virus is out there, and I'm going to take the risk and go to this sporting event. I think I don't know if temperatures, some of these states are being absolutely crazy about this thing. I don't know if temperatures is going to work in every state, but if the testing keeps getting better, which it sounds like it is, we can have something where we can find out right there at that moment if you have COVID-19.
Well, you can do that for everyone that works, all the fighters, all the trainers, all the ticket takers. That you can definitely do. All right, so my staff apparently sent you some of my training videos. I've been doing this now 7 years, and I do it 4 or 5 days. You're laughing. That's not a good sign if you're laughing at some of the videos.
I'm not laughing. I'm smiling. I love it. No, I love it. Listen, when I was growing up, your parents would put you in karate or taekwondo, and that's the martial art that people took. This is the new martial art that people are training in all over the world. I think it's great that you do it. It's one of the best things you could do for yourself, your wife, your kids. I love it.
By the way, it's a combination of Krav, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Kempo, boxing, but I do a lot of situational training. Obviously, there are some people, Dana, this may shock you, that hate me, just in case, protecting myself. Anyway,
I hear you. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Big fan. Can't wait to go. I'd love to one of these days go to a fight with you. Thank you so much for being with us. Good luck in your opening.